Hello, everybody. It's Eileen Lemelman here, and I am here after an amazing retreat that we had this weekend with my sisters, Midge, Maxine, and Goldie. And we had an amazing, transformational, very deep, reflective, and healing weekend. And what's amazing is that it's really a predecessor to what we're going to be doing on November 6th, which is our longevity conference. How can we live a longer, healthier, more vital life, inviting deep reflection, God, and also each other in community to live longer, healthier, vital, really beautiful lives together. So I have my friends here, my sisters, and we're going to do a little interview so you can get a taste of what each of them brings to the table and hopefully entice you to come to our event on November 6th, Longevity. Live strong, live long. So we're going to start with Midge. Hey, so I have my friend here, Midge. And we're going to talk a little bit about how her connection, her wisdom about scripture, about family, about being in community really was so transformational the weekend of the retreat. So what do you think was the most transformational that happened during the weekend?
Well, my favorite part of the weekend was when two people in the group got into a conflict.
Yes.
People usually, when they feel safe and over a little bit of a period of time, show up in a healing group like they did in their family of origin. And so it was a great opportunity to love the person where they were, love the people where they were, help them to reflect on their part in the conflict, each one, helping them to see that they weren't victims, but they were responding to each other like they do in life. And that's why relationships break down.
That was what was so beautiful about the weekend, because we used the interactional and the integrative model for the weekend as a way for healing, and we created that safe space for people, which people don't usually have an opportunity to really use conflict in a healthy way. We weren't taught that, were we?
No. And so the bottom line, just to explain to you what happened, is one of the girls is very codependent, and she said, well, I just intuit. And
Well, can you explain what codependent means?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Let me share first. So just to set a structure and a framework so they understand.
Okay.
So basically, she was intuitive and very intuitive, and instead of her communicating with this particular person, she was intuiting that she needed help, and then she was giving her the help without asking her first.
Yes.
And so the other girl was not only rejecting her help, but she was angry. So the first girl felt very rejected and hurt that she was rejecting her gift, which is the intuition and the intuitive knowing, and then rejecting her gift of an offering to help, whatever that specific thing was. And so, she was like, whoa, and she was angry. And then the girl that intuited and was rejected became enraged. Now the other girl had her issues too. She wasn't accepting love. And she has a lot of issues with taking in love and loving herself. They both did. And so it came out where she was not really regulating emotionally, and every time she would get angry, she would run out of the room and withdraw because she was trying to suppress or hold in the rage. And so when she came back in, I said, you can take a break, you can leave whenever you want. We love you just the way you are. You don't have to be or do. And she kept apologizing for her emotions. I said, no, you don't have to apologize. It's okay. And so eventually she settled down, and we got to the root of the issue, and it was a beautiful process. And that was my favorite part, because instead of judging her or judging the other girl, we loved both of them where they were, and and help them to walk through the process to get unenmeshed, which is to disentangle. And also the root of the problem was boundaries.
Yes, boundaries.
That was the issue, so we could talk about that.
That's what I was going to say, that, how often are you able to express your emotions, be in an environment where you can express your emotions and really have a whole, not only the other person, but a whole community to surround you with love and be really unconditionally loving. Unconditionally loving, which is what many of us never had, because we had to be something in order to be accepted in the family. And so unconditional love is what we all really just pour out in our community and allow people to be exactly who they are, where they are, and love them on that.
Right. And so by participating in our deeper healing, which is the retreats at my home in North Carolina, the masks come off. And so I have a saying, we got wounded in community and with our families, and so we need to heal in community.
That's right.
We can't heal as an island.
That's a beautiful way to approach it and to frame it. So, and I think what that does is it says it is safe to have a community of love around you and express what you need to express in order to heal.
Yeah. And I'll help you. I'll give you the wisdom to walk through it.
Yes.
I'll walk beside you. I won't do the work for you. We all took turns leading groups, but that's how I do it. Yeah.
Well, let me just approach that a minute and talk to that a minute. So the four of us, myself, Midge, and you're going to meet Maxine and Goldie very soon. We are all therapists. So not only are we women, and not only are we really loving people, but we're trained to really help heal.
That's right.
And I think that's what really sets us apart from other retreats and other sessions that you might go on. We are all highly trained therapists.
Right. My background is in family systems, among others, communications theory. And I've actually written 3 workbooks that help people heal, and I guide them through that. But also the integrative model. And I want to tell you the other favorite part of the event. What I had intended to do was to cook and to serve for the 11 or 12 women that came in and out of the retreat. And so that was really a blessing for me. And then I hurt myself, so everybody had to help me. Which was interesting. The person that was supposed to come couldn't to help me. And my lesson was I need to ask for help.
Yes.
So now I feel comfortable having people tend for themselves, even though I might put out the spread, I might have the structure of it. I'm going to let people help me.
So what we're talking about, Midge, which the theme that you've talked about several times throughout this interview or discussion that we're having, is as women, we sometimes find it really hard to receive, right? We're always there to give out. But we have to learn how to receive, because that's part of the healing. Part of the healing is not only how do we act and give to another person, but how do we allow love, healing, and help in our own beings.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so this was a fabulous, and now we're going to go on to the next beautiful, beautiful sister in our group. We're going to call Goldie in, so hold on. Okay, so here we are now with Goldie, another beautiful golden sister. Not golden girl, golden sister.
Thank you.
And so, Goldie adds this beautiful element to any event that we have. Her joy, her laughter, her levity. Well, we have somebody else that's a comedian, but this is a little bit of a different a slant on it. But Goldie brings such joy to the event, and she helped us in 2 areas. One was, how do we care for ourselves so we can let go of the anxiety and really do self-care? But I think more importantly and more unbelievably transformatively. The group that she led on surrender was so unbelievably healing and deep. And so, Goldie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I am so happy that you're here. We've done a few things together, and
Yeah,
here we are again.
Darling Goldie.
So Goldie, tell me about what was really amazingly transformative for you, and not necessarily personally, but for the group. What was really so beautiful and life-giving, as you call it?
Yes, I do. Well, I'd have to say, the whole weekend was just amazing from the beginning to the end. But I think what I just always love to see is the gestalt. And when people really get in touch with what their deeper issues are and their deeper fears, I believe that everything is based in fear. And so in order to really surrender and let go of the things that are holding us back, we really need to get in touch with what that fear is. Mm-hmm. And that's really what happened in the surrender part of it. And to watch people to go deep enough to connect with that fear, and then to spend some time alone with God and nature or wherever they were, to get to that place, and then to be able to come back and give voice to what it is and what it was that's been holding them back for so many years from becoming all that they're supposed to be in life.
Because what we do have and what we all face, well, most of us face, is a block. Mm-hmm. What blocks you from moving forward and really achieving all that you want to achieve? What stops you? What's limiting in your life,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way you framed it in terms of boulders, rocks, stones, and pebbles. That's the gestalt part,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So can you explain that and
Yes.
how that might really look in terms of longevity?
Yes, exactly. Well, when we're blocked, it affects us physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And it affects us relationally because we can't trust. That's one of the biggest issues. So not only do we have to trust God as we understand Him, but we have to be able to trust our present day relationships. Therefore, dealing with our past and letting go of the hurts and the trauma that we've buried so deeply. So that's the first step.
Yes.
So that's the boulder, is identifying that deepest hurt, that deepest rejection, that deepest trauma that has kept us just blocked from really being able to move forward in our lives and being able to be there to help other people. So once you get to that, that's the boulder that breaks up.
Okay.
And then once the boulder breaks up, then comes the rocks, the stones, and the pebbles. So as a therapist or as a life coach, I help people to identify what the rocks, the stones, and the pebbles are. And those are easier. A rock you can throw away. Mm-hmm. Pebbles and stones you can kick away. So those are easier triggers to deal with. So the idea is to break up that boulder first, and then throughout the rest of our lives, just be aware of the triggers when they come up. And then we can know, all right, this one I can let go. This is easy enough.
So I think a lot of us can relate to the stones and the rocks and the pebbles.
Yes.
But it's the boulder that limits us. And
Yes.
that's really what was so beautiful about your workshop that you held for everyone, because it was a safe environment, and we were able to really identify the big boulder. And I think there were some aha moments for people within the group.
Yes.
They didn't even realize, including you,
Oh, including me. Of course.
that what the big boulder was.
Yes.
And so, but again, it was done in an environment that was loving, safe. We held space, we didn't judge, and it allowed people to really identify, finally be with that boulder and say, yes, I can deal with that. I can look at that. And now I understand what I have to move past.
Yes. And in terms of longevity, the more we deal with our past and we put it behind us and it doesn't block us and keep us from going forward, we will learn how to better take care of ourselves. And I also spoke about stress and self-care and the need to care for ourselves, because as women, we don't often do that. We're caring for everyone else, but do we really care for ourselves? So the focus was on that. And the more that we do that, I do believe we'll live longer, because we will be giving out of a full cup and not an empty cup.
Absolutely, yes. And that is so important, because when we try to give out of an empty cup, we're really stressing our immune system.
Yes.
We're stressing our ability to take care of ourselves. We're telling ourselves that we're, not enough.
Exactly.
That's the empty cup syndrome, so to speak. Let's get through to the full cup, and let's really operate from the full.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Goldie. We can't wait to have you and, be so involved with November 6th longevity. And I hope this also really piques your interest in coming to the longevity conference on November 6th. So next we're going to have another fabulous sister. Be right back. So welcome back with our next sister, Maxine. She is what we call the comedian, the Jewish comedian of the entire weekend. She had a joke for every single thing that happened. Some of the things were serious, but some of the things were not. But yet she was able to find the right joke for us. And that we need levity in this world, don't we?
Yes, we
This
do.
world that's so serious and really going through some big changes. So we always need somebody like Maxine. So I welcome you.
Thank you.
So your theme, well, you had a few themes, but the theme that was so unbelievable was forgiveness. She did a workshop on forgiveness. And why is it so hard for people to forgive either themselves, others, or God?
Yeah, great question. I think people get confused and think that if they forgive someone, that they're condoning the behavior. And people have to first really do a lot of inner work if there's abuse issues and things where you've really been hurt, especially as children. So just to forgive without doing a lot of really painful processing, it's superficial and it doesn't even make sense. But once we go inside and do the work and learn that it wasn't our fault, and then process the actual wrongs that were done to us, without forgiveness, you carry that bitterness, you carry that hurt within you, and it diminishes your entire life. It impacts every relationship, especially the one with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, forgiveness, you said do the work. So for those out there that really don't know what that means, do the work. What do you mean by that? How can we explain that to our sisters out there doing the work?
Well, I've worked with abused children for 50 years, and the work is first acknowledging that something happened that was wrong, and next it's usually trying to individuate the abuser, often the parents, and the person, because as children you always blame yourself.
Yes.
A child just can't
that's what
blame their parents. So there's all that inner self-hatred and confusion and all the lies that you carry. Then the work, when you find somebody safe, and the four of us we've all done this our whole career, it's to help heal the inner wounds, the inner child who's truly fixated at that moment of trauma or abuse. So we do a lot of inner work and healing, and then once you're healed within, if you don't forgive the abuser,
That's right. You're doomed to be in pain your whole life, right? You must forgive yourself, the abuser. And so we're talking initially about an awareness. It all starts with an awareness, because sometimes we're not even sure that we have to forgive, or we're not sure why we have to forgive, or we forget about the wounds that were perpetrated upon us, right? And so, that's a beautiful, and it might sound overwhelming, but it actually is so healing when you can identify what it is you need to forgive.
Exactly. There's a freedom that is, you can't imagine that you'll find that freedom, and you become so self-identified with either the anger or the hurt, and you've become either a victim or an abuser yourself. And all of a sudden, when you can forgive, which is biblically, it's not a maybe, we're to love everyone and forgive everyone. Once that happens, I think the possibility for love in your life is open for the first time.
I love that. That is beautiful. When you can forgive, the possibility of love is open, possibly for the first time. Wow, that's beautiful. So how can we take forgiveness and apply it to longevity? Why is it so important to have forgiveness in order to live a long life?
That's a great question. What came to my mind, you might have to cut this out of the film, is
No cuts.
I thought of a prune
Yes.
and a raisin.
Okay.
It's like a grape. When you hold on to hatred and bitterness, it's all internalized. So all of your organs, all of your spiritual self, all of your emotional self is crippled. And that we know medically, stress and all of this negativity really impact our health in every way. And when we can free ourselves from that, we can live a healthier life in the emotional, in the physical, and in the spiritual realm.
Yeah. Because when we don't forgive, we're actually living in the anger. And when we live in the anger, then that is a surefire way to affect the immune system, affect our mind. It actually gets in the way of doing positivity and having that neuroplasticity of the brain to change into positivity. We're living in the negative. When we live in the negative, it's a surefire way to get to, age us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you see, Maxine. All right, can you leave us with a joke? She always had a joke for every occasion that we had, and you're sure to get some levity at the November 6th longevity conference. Not only live long, live strong, but live joyfully. And that's what we want to bring also to November 6th.
Yes. I make much better matzo ball soup than Eileen. That is all I want to tell you.
We shall see about that. Okay, so we'll be right back. Hey there, we're back. Oops, we're back. Forgot my little microphone. So you get an idea of what we experienced in the longevity in the retreat that we had. We had healing, we had transformation, we really encouraged resilience. And so now we're going to talk about how that can apply to our longevity conference. We have a beautiful day planned on November 6th, a day event where we're going to be bringing up people from all different genres and different backgrounds to talk about brain health, physical health, outer beauty, inner beauty, and it's going to be a beautiful day. But we also have an evening event. And so I'm going to have Midge talk about the event and what you can expect and how you can really benefit from coming to this longevity conference.
Great. Okay, so the longevity conference is called The Power Within Us. And our passion is to bring the healing that we all experience together and the other times that we're together into the community. And we also want to give you opportunity to become part of Sisters and Esther's United. The actual nonprofit is called the Healing and Creative Arts Center, and that is the part that brings the clinic and the counseling and all of that to the community, the medical side. And sisters.org is the outreach in the community where we allow the women to come in and heal. And then we want to have an event where their significant others and males can come as well. So we just want it to be the whole community that's able to come. But the women prepare. The women put it together. The women come together and practice the facilitation that's going to take place at the smaller group breakouts. So it's a nice blend, and I believe that it's a great model. And so we can then invite your families, invite your wives or your husbands, and all you need is to ask one person to come, and if you want, I'm asking some people to fill a table because it's like a staycation. You've got Mirasol catering to you all day long if you want to stay for the whole day and evening. You've got shopping. People that came last time felt like, wow, they were treated like royalty. It's kind of like the feeling you get on a cruise ship, but more one-on-one. People fawn over you. You get all your needs met. And I noticed on the retreat, when all our needs were met over those 4 days, people lost about a pound a day, up to a pound a day. People really lost weight just relaxing with the cortisol stop.
Yeah, really leveling out. The cortisol level does make a difference.
Yeah, there was plenty of food around, and everybody was really focusing on themselves in a self-full way. And so it's going to be the same thing. But if you can come and bring a few friends, that would be amazing. And then you can spend the day with them and get all of your needs met. You're going to hear from Jonna, who's coming in from California, and she's going to talk about the science. She's a neuroscientist. She's going to talk about how all of this affects the brain and blue zones and all the surprises she has for us on longevity scientifically. And then Orly's going to be speaking about longevity when it comes to business. Dr. Lisa Corsa has several pillars of health that she's going to describe that impact longevity. And Dr. Brown has his own clinic, and he's going to talk to us about some things in a funny way. I keep that a secret, but he's got some fun things to talk about. And then in the evening, we're having somebody come from Israel, he and his wife, and they founded an organization called FIRM, F-I-R-M. And that then distributes monies to Israelis that are in need. And they work hand in glove with the government. So they're an amazing duo, and they don't keep the money for themselves. They distribute it among the community, and they're doing a great job, and they're going to bring us the truth about what's really happening in the Mideast. So I feel, and we're going to raise funds for Israel. The whole day, any of the profits, any of the shopping that you do, all of that is going to go for Israel. And while we're having a great time in healing, we're going to help people in Israel do the same. And eventually we want to go to Israel and bring this healing energy to them. So this is a great opportunity for you to bless the Jewish people, but bless yourself as well.
That's right. See, what Midge is talking about is, our events are very much geared towards women, but this event is really going to be a co-ed event because we want you and the men, the women and the men, to learn about how to live healthy lives. We want, because this ends up becoming a ripple effect, because when we heal, we bring it out into the community. And when you feel better, you're going to affect a friend, and that's going to affect another friend and affect another friend. And we're going to, because listen, we're trying to bring positivity into the world. We're fighting. We're like salmon swimming against the stream of what's going on in the world. And we are not going to accept, sit down or accept it lying down. We are going to push forward and say we want to bring positivity. And the only way to do it is to start with you. You have to come, fill yourself, learn about these healthy ways to live life, and then ripple it out. It's such a beautiful, beautiful way to approach healing. And so we invite you November 6th at Mirasol Country Club in Palm Beach Gardens to really learn new ways to live life in a very healthy way. And so you will add years to your life if you do that. And we invite you to do that. So looking forward. If you want any information, go to sisthers.org, and that's SISTHERS. Yes, you heard it right, SistHERS.org. And you can go there and buy your ticket, and we hope that you'll fill a table with you, your friends, your spouse, and maybe some neighbors. Come and learn more about how to live healthy, strong, because you have a lot of power within you. Looking forward to seeing you.